Good morning. Thank you for being here today. We've got a great turnout on a beautiful campus. ASUBB is the pride of White County, and I'm a White Countyan, so we really are proud of this school. And to begin with, their Chancellor Methvin, is going to give us a welcome. I've lost her. Where is she? There she is, right there. Okay.
There's the girl. Okay. It is my honor to welcome you all. That's much better, isn't it? To the campus of ASUBB. You may not be aware of this, but ASUBB is the oldest community college in your state. In 2027, we will celebrate 100 years of serving Arkansans. This fall, it was our honor to celebrate 60 years of offering educational opportunities on the Jacksonville-Little Rock Air Force Base. So you have at your place our medallion, our 60th anniversary medallion that we gave away for that event. We'd like for you to have one of those. In 2024, we celebrated 25 years of our Heber Springs campus. And in 2023, we celebrated 20 years since the merger of Foothills in Searcy with ASUBB creating ASU Searcy. So we have a great deal of history across our campuses. And 100 years ago when we were founded as a 2-year agriculture focused institution. Yes, that was sort of made up in legislation. If you'll come back for the 100th anniversary celebration, we'll tell you the whole story. It's pretty interesting. So this afternoon, if you're able to stay with us and go on our tour, we're going to highlight that agriculture focus. I think you all are aware that we have an agricultural equipment technology, or what you call the John Deere Tech program, the only one in the state and the only virtual program in the nation. We'd like to show you, if you don't have allergies, our Vet Tech program. And while we're doing that, you're going to get a peek at our 150-acre farm where our agriculture students learn hands-on in our current 5 focus areas of their degree program. And while you're there, we're going to give you a peek at some really cool machinery, because thanks to our $2.3 million hired grant with the focus on precision ag will be the 6th focus we will have in our agriculture degree. But in addition to that, this grant allows us the opportunity to become a precision ag hub. And we have all kinds of things going on for K-12 students, for farmers, for agribusiness partners, for our partners in higher education, for anyone who might benefit from exposure to the latest technology in precision agriculture. Really neat transfer options for those credit students. And we just want to give you a peek at what we're doing there. I could talk all day in a brief welcome about our campuses, about the BB campus that you're on, our residential campus, where we have exceptional leadership development engagement opportunities, and I hope you saw that with our greeters. We have strong fine arts, a really specialization in pre-healthcare prereqs for folks who are trying to get in professional programs, lots of strengths. Our Searcy campus, which is our highly career and technical education focused campus. It's the hub of our regional career center programming for our high schools. And again, thanks to another grant from the state of Arkansas, a line grant, we have doubled the capacity of our nursing programs. And thanks to a federal appropriation from Senator Bozeman, doubled the footprint of our nursing building on the Searcy campus. We have a new Metallica grant that I could talk about all day. Yes, the Metallica, which is providing us the opportunity to expand electric vehicle instruction in our automotive program. I could talk all day just about the Searcy campus. Or the Heber Springs campus, if you haven't been there, the most beautiful place to study in the state of Arkansas, and that's just the truth. We have a highly successful part-time practical nursing program there with students driving a great distance to be in a part-time program. And that's a campus where most of our area high school students actually come to campus for their concurrent credit. So we're really able to give them an immersion experience. Or as I've said, the Little Rock Air Force Base, where we serve airmen and civilians alike, and particularly working adults who need a really, really flexible schedule. We have a large testing center there, and in fact, we're a top 20 military CLEP testing center in the nation. I could go on about adult ed, our high school diploma folks, the career readiness they're exposed to there, and the entry-level job skills they get through adult ed that we get to bridge over later into our credit programs, about our workforce and community development, our short-term programs, most of which, again, we bridge into credit if that's what the student wants. Training for incumbent workers, customized training, our Vanguard Discovery Camp for Youth. I could go on and on all day about our services and our grants. But I learned a long time ago that we don't tell our story quite well enough. And we do better when we ask some of our partners if they would help us tell that story. So to that end, if you will indulge me, I have invited a couple of guests today, one student and one industry partner, to talk briefly about their ASUBB experience. I think we don't do that enough. I learned that in a powerful way in this room at one time, and I think you'll appreciate these few minutes that we spend on this. So I asked Faith Bettis to come join me. She is one of our education students. Last week, I had the great privilege of joining Faith for our White County Single Parent Scholarship reception in this very room, and her beautiful, beautiful daughter. Her signature line on her email says, "Teacher in progress." And it says, "You can do all things you set your mind to." And she's going to share just a brief part of her journey. Right?
Well, thank you, Dr. Mifflin. My name is Faith. I'm an education here at BB, pursuing a dream I've held on to for as long as I can remember. Throughout my schooling, I always loved learning and admired my teachers. After experiencing some bullying, I decided to take an alternative path, pursuing my GED and enrolling in cosmetology school while navigating the challenges of adulthood. My determination paid off when I soon earned my cosmetology license. After a few years, life took an unexpected turn. Love clouded my judgment, but also brought a new life into this world, AKA my daughter. A blessing that led me to embrace the strength of single motherhood. Becoming a single motherhood has ignited a desire to build a better future for my daughter and I. One day, while cutting a high school student's hair, he had said something that really struck to me, and it will stick to me every day. It is never too late. 1 week later, I found myself here on campus at AHECB registering for classes. Thanks to the support of C Campus, I have the peace of mind of knowing that my daughter is in very good hands, which allows me to focus on my studies and my campus involvement. I'm proud to maintain a strong GPA and take part in the Education Club, the Ed Rising, TLC, and TRIO. Through these, I've had the opportunity to participate in Children's Lit Week and serve as TLC president during the Blackbird Festival this past weekend. Thanks to this support, all of this has been possible because of the tremendous amount of support I have received through the TRIO program. Through TRIO, I have been awarded up to 4 scholarships, including the single parent scholarship, and received a tremendous amount of academic and personal guidance. With their guidance and the opportunity from A-State, I have decided to pursue my bachelor's here through their hybrid program on campus. I, in sincerity, want to thank ASUBB and the TRIO program for life-changing impact that they've not only had on me, my daughter, and the tremendous amount of students that we have here on campus. And I thank you so much. Yeah.
Now, I could point to any of these student leaders we see here in the back and invite them to the podium, and we truly could be here all afternoon. First generation students, students who are working on dual tracks like earning their EMT while they're working on an agriculture major. If you get a chance to have any conversations during our breaks, some of them do have to go to class um, or on the tour, please do. So many of these stories are really special, and I think really tell the story of the impact of the higher education institutions that you serve in the state of Arkansas. So thank you, student leaders, very much for your service today. Likewise, I think we hear all of the time, higher education doesn't work closely enough with business and industry. And I think sometimes it's because we're so busy doing so. So I thought about who I might ask from our partners to speak briefly to you all, and one name came to mind, a very enthusiastic supporter and someone who has leadership in using the services we offer at ASUBB. So I asked to the podium Shane Muse. He's the Senior Manager of People Partnering at Danfoss. The Senior Manager of People Partnering. That's a recent promotion that takes Shane into a company-wide role, not just a Cersei role, but I am very pleased. I was very pleased to learn he's still going to be here with us. So I'm excited about that. Shane?
Thank you, Dr. Metham. I really don't know what that title means yet, but we'll find out over the course of the next few months. But I was just promoted to that a couple weeks ago. I'm glad to be here. Glad to talk to you guys about our partnerships, our relationships we built with ASU BB. This started years ago in my personal career with Janet and the team in the pharmacy. Because I'm a pharmacy guy at heart. I was with the pharmacy for 15 years, and we started this partnership a long time ago, developing technicians into the pharmaceutical roles and leading them into good career paths. Then I changed careers after COVID, and I went into engineering and HR into engineering, and I work for Danfoss now. Many don't know what Danfoss is, but Danfoss is an engineering firm that really builds parts, manufactures parts for agricultural, power solutions, and climate solutions across the globe. It's based out of Denmark, but one of the largest sites is in North America, in Cersei. And Dr. Metham talked about foothills, and Danfoss has a really big culture with the Foothills program, and it started as a typewriter facility in Cersei, Arkansas, and over the course of time, they developed a relationship with Foothills to learn how to machine parts and to go into the CNC machining business. And with that partnership, we were able to launch a hydraulic business in Cersei, Arkansas, which was at the time Clary Corporation, and then it moved into the Eaton Corporation, now was acquired by Danfoss. So I took over into the HR role in 2021, and what we're seeing is a maturing workforce in that industry, the CNC machining industry. So through some partnerships and some conversations with ASU BB and the network, we were able to devise a really good plan of action to have a apprenticeship program working with the university and the work life and the workforce. So I partner with ASU to teach basic skills like geometric tolerances and metrology and blueprinting, and those teachers come on site and talk to our students and teach our students for credit hours, and then those students in turn go through the program. It is a phenomenal program, and I've had numerous students work through this program and launch careers into operations and into engineering, and it's been a phenomenal a piece of our success at Danfoss in Searcy. And I can't thank the university enough for the partnership and the support they've given us throughout this program. And this has launched into other things. So early talent development is a super passion of mine. And, you know, we work with ASU on the STEM fair that they have every summer. And we teach engineering classes to the 4th and 5th graders, kind of to introduce them to what opportunities that are out there. And we also help with the adult education department that Dr. Methlin talked about earlier. So I can't thank the university enough about the partnerships. It's helped us grow as an organization. And I feel like we're helping give students opportunity for tomorrow. So thank you guys. I just want to tell the story of what we're working on. So, yep.
We are grateful for our K-12 partners and the work we get to do with them and with A-State here on campus to grow our own teachers for the area like we are with Faith. We're grateful to our business and industry partners who we have these sort of symbiotic relationships with. Again, they tell our story better than we do. So again, this afternoon, we'll return a little bit to our agricultural roots. I hope you have time to go on that tour with us. If not, come back November 6th through 9th for our fall theatrical musical, Bright Star, written by Steve Martin. I've never seen it. I can't wait. Or come March 31st, if you can still grab a ticket to see Dr. John Pohl. We hope you'll consider that. It is almost sold out, so get with us today. Come back in 2027 for a 100th year celebration. But truly, I think I can say this on behalf of all of my fellow chancellors and presidents in the room. Call on us anytime. Dr. Warden can tell you, we like nothing better than to put you in a golf cart in a car and carry you around, walk into classrooms and let you see firsthand what goes on our campuses across the state. Those campuses that are making an impact on students like Faith, families for generations, businesses and industries in the area. And so your service to this mission is greatly, greatly appreciated. And it's our honor to get to do that work every day. Welcome to ASUBB.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Are there other folks with you today from campus that we can recognize? Just raise their hands. ASU folks, okay. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And several who are down the hall who've been working for 2 days, right, or more than that, but working for 2 days to get ready for this visit, and I'm very grateful for them too. Thank you for that, Dr. Carr.
So much for hosting us. We were impressed. I was lucky to call Eugene McKay, who the building's named for, a friend, and another great leader here. So appreciate your having us here. Let me introduce our board members and tell you where they're from. Lucas Pointer is right down here in the end. Lucas is from Bentonville, Arkansas. And then Catherine Dudley is on this end down here, and Catherine's from Little Rock. Grayson is from Pocahontas, Grayson Bigger right here. Jerry Cash is from Harrison. Glad to have Jerry here. Heather is from Mountain Home, Heather Maxey, and Carolyn Reinhardt is from Scranton. So give these guys a round of applause too. Okay, you'll remember last time, since we have a much smaller board, the finance committee is the entire board and the academic committee is the entire board. So we'll begin with the finance section. Action item number 1, the economic feasibility of a bond issue for South Arkansas College. It begins on page 11 of your book. And Nick Fuller will provide the background for that item.
Good morning.
Nick, thank you.
Yes, sir. This first item is for a bond issue for South Arkansas College, like you mentioned. This bond is going to be for $9.5 million. The term of up to 30 years at a rate of approximately 7%. So it'll be both for educational and general purposes as well as auxiliary purposes. The funding for this is going to come from tuition and fee revenue, millage revenue, as well as residence hall driven auxiliary revenues. The proceeds will be used to construct the first residence hall on their campus. In accordance with coordinating board policy, $73,000 will be annually transferred to a building maintenance fund for ongoing maintenance of the building as it is completed. And there are representatives from the campus here if you have any questions in regard to this.
Or say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Action item number 2, the economic feasibility of a bond issue for the University of Central Arkansas begins on pages 2.1 of the agenda book. And Mr. Fuller will provide the background for that item.
Thank you. This bond issue is going to be for $10.5 million with a 20-year term at a rate of approximately 5.5%. This one is going to be for educational general purposes with funding from their tuition and fee revenue. This item is going to be used to complete the campus district loop and hydronics refresh project on the UCA campus. Involves enhancing the overall capacity and efficiency of their hydronic systems. And $10,000 annually will be transferred to a maintenance fund in order to upkeep this on an ongoing basis. Are there any questions?
Any questions from anyone?
I believe it is, it will be a maximum of 5.5. They haven't gotten the actual term yet. And we'll see on the next item, next year, it'll come back and you'll see what the actual term was when we report that next year.
Any more comments from the board? Can I get a motion to approve the economic feasibility of bond issue for UCA? So move. Second. Second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you. Okay. This is an information item. Number 3, the bond feasibility update begins on page 3.1. And Mr. Fuller will provide the background for this item also.
Sorry. As I just mentioned on the previous bond issue, these are the ones that have been approved over the past year, coming back and reporting to you what the actual interest rate and terms are for those that you approved since October of last year. So this one for UCA will come back next year to show you what the actual interest rate is that they get once they go to market on it. Are there any questions? I believe there are only 2 that over the past year. Yes, sir. All right. This is going to be the recommendation for state general revenues that are recommended through the productivity formula for the institutions of higher ed. This is the 9th year productivity funding. Baseline metrics that we use to calculate the data are academic years 21 through 23 compared to academic years 22 through 24. Overall, as a system of higher education, we were up 2.61% in productivity. As a result of our productivity distribution policy, we said we would never ask for more than 2% in funding in any year. So even though we were up 2.6%, the recommendation for funding is 2% over the 2026 funding level. This results in a total request for new general revenue funds of $12.8 million that will be distributed through the institutions. There are a few charts I'll go over with you. The first one is the initial breakdown between the 2-year and 4-year campuses. The funding split winds up being right at 75% to the universities and 25% to the 2-year colleges. This is not a set percent. It's basically based on the distribution of the funds from the prior year allocated between the 2 and 4 years. Next item is the breakdown of the base level funding for 27 for the 4-year institutions, as well as the amounts that the ones with increases would receive in new funding. You'll see there are 6 institutions that showed increases and 4 with decreases. As part of the distribution policy, those 4 institutions that had decreases will have up to 2% of their funding reallocated to the 6 with the increase. That is the red section of the chart. And then purple is the total funding recommendation. The next to last column shows the amount of funds that they will be able to increase to their base level funding for the upcoming year. And the last column is the amount of one-time incentive funds that they would be recommended in 27. The next few charts are for the 2-year campuses. The same columns going through with the base funding in green, new revenues in blue, the reallocation in red, and then purple is the final recommendation. For the 2-year campuses, I believe there were 5 that had reductions, so the other 17 all showed increases. I would say as part of the distribution policy, we have a stop loss of 5% that no institution can lose more than 5% of what they had 5 years prior. There was only 1 institution that hit that stop loss this year. And last year, there were 3 or 4 of the 2-year campuses that hit that. So we've all improved year over year coming into this recommendation. Any questions you may have on productivity?
Questions from the board? Okay, can I get a motion to accept this report? Approve it? So move. Second? Second? Any more questions? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, the final item is an action item, and it's the report on intercollegiate athletic revenues and expenditures for 24-25, and it's on page 5.1 of your agenda book. Mr. Fuller.
Thank you. And this is reporting on expenditures from the last fiscal year that ended in June 30. Here we go. The total amount of actual expenditures for universities was $289 million for fiscal 25 and 6.2 million for the 2-year colleges. This was an 11% increase over 2024. Tell you a majority of that increase, as looking back at it, was in travel costs. As travel expenses rose, and a lot of it has to do with, it just depends on where the opponents were that they were traveling to. So it's mostly like the larger institutions had $1, $2, $3 million for additional travel costs. That was the biggest majority of those increases. You can see there are, on the next chart is revenues broken down by the different types of revenue brought in. We have 2 separate columns, one including University of Arkansas Fayetteville and one without. As their athletic budget is so much larger than everyone else, doing the comparisons, it kind of skews the numbers if we include them on everything. Very colorful chart. Dr. Warden likes the mosaic artwork of our athletic revenue breakdowns.
I'm pretty sure our CFO's undergrad was in something in the arts. I'm positive of that.
And the next chart is the breakdown of the expenditures as opposed to the revenues. Again, 2 columns that include Fayetteville, and the last columns exclude them, showing the percentage breakdown of expenses. And you see, as most cases on any kind of expense, personnel costs is the majority of anything we do. And then another colorful chart breaking that down by the type of expenses.
So the colorful charts are just a little busy and hard to read, but if you do look in the board book, they really make a lot of sense how they're coded. And so you can see the percentage of expenses by color that is really a good representation. So all kidding aside, Nick, it's a good chart. It's a little hard to see on the
It's hard to
slideshow.
see on a display monitor, yes. All right. Any questions on the athletic expenses from fiscal 25? It is a lot of money, yes, sir.
Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve this report? Motion. Second? Second? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you. Mr. Fuller, thank you very much. Let's look at the academic section now, and the first item there is agenda item number 6. The Certificate of Proficiency in Construction Trades, a technical certificate in construction trades by Arkansas State BB, page 6.1 of your book. Mr. Campbell will provide the background on this. Mr. Campbell, good to see you this morning.
You too. Thank you, Dr. Carr. The proposed program is designed to prepare students to be proficient in the fundamentals of residential and commercial construction. The 27 credit hour technical certificate with the embedded 12 credit hour certificate of proficiency provides instruction in safety and industry codes, methods and materials of construction, blueprints and drawings, site layout, carpentry and roofing, plumbing and electrical systems, framing, flooring, cabinetry and finish work, and general processing of project management. Stackable related coursework and training is also available through ASUBB in fields such as HVAC and welding, in addition to electrical and plumbing apprenticeship programs. The program is built on a foundational partnership with local political and business leaders, Quitman High School, and the Office of Skills Development to assume the administration of a long-standing Quitman Building Trades program after its former partner ended its involvement. The institution plans to integrate the new program into its regional career center offerings, and it will be available exclusively to high school students. No new personnel, facilities, resources, or equipment costs are anticipated for the proposed program, and continued funding from the Office of Skills Development is anticipated. In terms of program need, labor market information indicates strong growth in the fields both nationally and locally. Average salaries range from just over $43,000 to, in the 3-county area, over $45,000 statewide and over $58,000 nationally. The institution demonstrated strong support from several local employers, which are listed in the summary. 9 Arkansas public institutions offer similar certificate programs in construction technology, and their distances from ASUBB are also noted in the summary. Projected initial enrollment is 60 students for AY26, with 20 projected initial graduates also in AY26. And Dr. Blake Perkins is here to answer any questions from the board and speak to your consideration.
It's here too, is that right?
They do.
Let's we have them stand and let's see them. Good, glad to have them. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, we have here with us 3 of our standout students in the program now. Gretchen Wagner, and she's a high school senior. Caden Harnick, Tom Tennyson, both juniors in the program. So we're glad to have them with us today. Good morning, Dr. Carr and members of the board. I appreciate this opportunity to say a little bit more about our proposal for a technical certificate with an embedded certificate of proficiency in construction trades technology and our partnership on this skilled trades workforce program with Quitman High School. Also have here with us Mr. Mike Dingler, ASUBB's Regional Career Center Director, and Dr. Cheryl Wiedmeyer, the Dean of Career Education, as well as Quitman High School Principal, Ms. Felicia Stacy. So we're glad Ms. Stacy was able to be with us too. As Mason alluded to, ASUBB's collaboration on this program began when Quitman's former secondary career center partner, Conway High School, announced in the spring of 2024 that it would not continue to sponsor and operate the skilled trades program at Quitman the following academic year. And with an outpouring of public support in Cleburne County and surrounding areas to find a way to keep the program going, ASUBB's Chancellor, Dr. Jennifer Methvin, and our RCC Director, Mike Dingler, engaged in numerous conversations with the Quitman High School administration, Ms. Stephanie Isaacs, the Director of the Arkansas Office of Skills Development, which provides the funding for the program, and local business and community leaders to begin working through how ASUBB might help with this need and bring the additional value of offering high school students in the program college course credit and credentials for the first time. ASUBB has a college campus in Cleburne County in Heber Springs that offers general education, nursing and allied health, and CTE programs. And we celebrated our 25th anniversary of our Heber Springs campus last fall. The college also has a long-standing concurrent enrollment partnership with Quitman High School, so it made perfect sense for the college to step in and ensure that this Quitman Building Trades program continued. And so with guidance from OSD, we worked out an MOU and were able to keep the high school program going without interruption last academic year. As part of that agreement, Dean Wiedmeyer and Mr. Dingler set to work last fall in collaborating with longtime high school instructor, Mr. Lonnie Holland, to develop the post-secondary course curriculum and learning outcomes using the guidance of the National Center for Construction Education and Research, or NCCER standards. And this is the curriculum that we're proposing here today. Students will earn the 12-hour CP by completing the intro class, methods 1 and 2 with lab, and plumbing and electrical. They can earn the 27-hour TC after finishing courses in modern cabinet making, residential construction codes and regulations, and project management, as well as tech math or higher and career communications. Upon graduating high school, students have the opportunity to pursue additional coursework at ASUBB in HVAC and refrigeration, CAD or welding, leading to an Associate of Applied Science and General Technology. And they may also pursue further study in apprenticeship programs in plumbing or electrical offered at our Heber Springs campus. Students successfully completing construction trades technology program will be ready for a range of careers in the construction industry, which is an especially high demand field in the area. Lightcast data showed a nearly 40% growth in related jobs in Cleburne, White, and Lone Oak counties between 2018 and 2023. Among our local industry supporters and partners are Nabholz, SRW Construction, Hart Construction, Command Construction, and Red River Plumbing and Mechanical. In a letter of support, Mill Shop Production Manager Hunter Martin wrote that all of us at Nabholz are excited that Quitman High School has partnered with ASUBB to continue to offer the program. The program is extremely important as a source of employees from which we draw. And another supporter, the owner of a construction company, noted, "I really like this. I talked to Governor Sanders about vocational training, construction trades. I would hire from this program in a second." Perhaps the most special and well-known part of this program at Quitman is the hands-on learning students gain by building a small house from scratch each year. While instruction, learning resources, and so forth are funded with Regional Career Center funds from the Office of Skill Development, the money raised from auctioning the student-made house each May provide the funds for the following academic year's building materials, along with some donations from local business and industry partners. And last year's house sale raised $75,000 for the program. And so if you're so inclined, I encourage you to follow Quitman Building Trades on Facebook, and you can watch the students' progress on the house throughout the year. And they've already got the metal roof on this one just earlier in the week, I think on Monday. So this is exciting stuff here, and we appreciate your consideration of this TC and CP, and I'm happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
The board members? I would ask you, have your mics on when you talk, please.
I love the idea of the house. When did you begin doing that? Was this the first year?
No, Quitman's been doing that for, I don't know, probably 20 years or so, I would bet, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think this is a great program, and I really like that it's geared toward high school students where they can come out and day one, they have some career opportunities after high school and done in a way that they've been taught safety around it. One of the questions I have was if a student wanted to continue with you after high school in something with construction trades, what stackable credentials would you kind of gear them towards, or are you having those conversations with students?
We are, and so right now, again, as I mentioned, we offer a lot in HVAC and refrigeration. Of course, we have a real strong welding program, CAD as well. So students can continue and earn our Associate of Applied Science and General Technology. They do also have the opportunity to participate in those apprenticeship programs in plumbing and electrical at our Heber Springs campus. So yeah, those are the things that we're kind of focused on right now.
I would also recommend some business courses for them as well, just with project management and things. But the other question I had was like Dr. Dudley, I really like the idea of the house and it generating income for the program. Are there any partnerships with local nonprofits so that students may also be able to earn their required service hours to graduate as well?
I'm not aware of any off the top of my head, but that's certainly a good idea. Yeah, something we can certainly look at, yeah.
I think it would serve a really great need both for the students and the local
Sure.
community as well.
Just wanted to acknowledge ASUBB for stepping in and making lemonade out of lemons in this situation. This was a situation where there had been an administrative decision on behalf of an entity not to continue a program, which was kind of exacerbating a problem of access for our rural students. VB campus stepped in, recognized that, went above and beyond to make it work. And not only do they have an opportunity similar to what they have, but they have more opportunity in that they are getting college credit for these courses. And it's bigger, the associate applied science degree that this leads to in Gen Tech, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Perkins also has opportunities with partners with ASU to obtain a Bachelor of Applied Science degree. And that's a lot of where you'll find your leadership and your efficiency and your other construction relevant upper level coursework. So kudos to you all for stepping in and making a really good situation of something that didn't start from such a great place.
Thank you.
It's impressive also that you can have this new program with 60 students and no new personnel.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, can I get a motion to accept this? And I need for you to turn your mic on when you make the motion, please, and second it. Is there a second? Second. Catherine seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed? Passes, thank you. Dr. Campbell, agenda item number 7 is the longest agenda item I've ever seen, and I've been on this board many years.
It might be a record.
So I am not going to repeat this entire item. I'm just going to say agenda item number 7.1
Perfect.
is on your, in your book on pages 7.1, excuse me, agenda item number 7.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. I'm not going to read it either. It is an AAS and a TC in outdoor recreation, along with 7 unique certificates of proficiency. The proposed program contains a 60 credit hour associate of applied science and a 45 credit hour technical certificate, both in outdoor recreation, as well as 7 certificates of proficiency varying from 8 to 12 credit hours that allow a student to tailor the program to their interests and needs. The program provides a fundamental understanding of the outdoor recreation industry, issues in policy and law, leadership and supervision, along with survival and first response in remote environments. A comprehensive listing of the skills per program is available in the full proposal. The proposed outdoor recreation program will be the first academic program at National Park College to provide instruction jointly with the Division of Workforce Development, Community, and Corporate Training. As a result, the program will serve both credit-seeking college students as well as local businesses and agencies in need of employee training or upskilling. Most of the CPs will be cross-listed as workforce non-credit programs, allowing a completer to receive equivalent credit if they later enroll as a degree-seeking student. The program will utilize existing campus facilities and faculty and will require only 1 additional faculty member to be hired in spring of 26. In terms of program need, a number of sources, all outlined in the summary, show Arkansas leading nationally in economic impact and growth for outdoor recreation and tourism. In addition to regional and statewide evidence, the institution has secured a number of local partners and support from state and federal agencies. 3 other Arkansas public institutions offering associate and certificate programs in either recreation, tourism, hospitality, or a combination thereof, and 5 universities offer bachelor's degrees in related fields. NPC has also begun discussions to create 2+2 pathways for these new credentials. Projected initial enrollment tables are outlined in the agenda item as they vary slightly depending on the type of the credential. And Dr. Chuck Argo is here to answer any questions and speak to your consideration of the program. Dr. Argo? Good morning. Yeah.
Well, now I'm nervous. That is the longest. I'm Chuck Argo. I'm the Vice President, Academic Affairs at National Park College. We brought a whole crew today. I've got Dr. Wade Durden, President of MPC, Bill Ritter, our Vice President of Workforce, and also have a special guest, Tracy Berry, the Northwoods Trails Coordinator for Visit Hot Springs. I'll bring up in a moment. This was quite a process. Quick thanks to Dr. Ken Warden for his support, especially to Mason and Tracy. They have far more grace and patience than I would with all the ridiculous questions I send to them on a weekly basis. And thanks to Dr. Carr and the board, it's our pleasure to bring forth this proposal today for a 60-hour AAS and outdoor recreation. Outdoor recreation and tourism is a $10.3 billion industry in the state of Arkansas. And the state has set an ambitious goal to double this number over the next 10 years. Arkansas communities are investing heavily to attract tourism dollars and to promote our natural resources. And Hot Springs is the historical epicenter of recreation and tourism in this state. The city alone greets 10 million visitors per year, which is 20% of all the visitors that come to the state of Arkansas. Garland County has the largest percentage of workers employed in this industry than any other Arkansas county. What Hot Springs does not have is a place to train and educate this workforce, which is why we are here today. Over the last 12 months, we've spoken to municipal, state, and federal agencies in the Hot Springs area, including the National Park, U.S. Forestry Service, city and state parks, resort owners, trail coordinators, marina operators, hotel and restaurant managers, Oaklawn Resorts, to determine what skills potential employees need in order to get a job or to improve an existing job. That's when we built our curriculum, was after we had spoken to these people. These degrees are designed for employment first and foremost. We wanted a program built on short duration certificates with multiple entry and exit points and a smoother transition of non-credit to credit. Several of the program CPs, I believe 5 of the 7 CPs that we have here, all of which stack towards either the TC or the AAS, can be taken wholly through workforce training. Our workforce classes have been built under the same standards as our credit courses, which will allow workforce training to seamlessly convert to credit with no loss of hours. By running many of these courses as dual workforce/credit classes, it reduces our instruction cost. It allows for unique on-site teaching locations with experienced professionals and ensures that our curriculum remains current in the industry. The response from the community to work with the college to bring this program to life has been incredible. And this program personifies the type of college community partnership that sits at the core of our mission. Of course, none of this would be possible if it were not for the tremendous outdoor resources and human capital available right outside the door of MPC. It should be noted that the state is currently developing the CTE standards in outdoor recreation for high school students. Our program would certainly benefit area schools that wish to develop concurrent credit opportunities for their students once those become established. We will answer whatever questions you may have, but I would like to give Tracy Berry just a moment. Tracy, if you'd come up, just to talk about the possibilities and opportunities our graduates might find in this industry. Tracy?
Thank you, Chuck. You know, when y'all brought me here today, you didn't tell me you were going to be a part of the longest list ever to be approved here. No pressure, no pressure. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the National Park College folks for letting me join them today. And thank you to the board and Dr. Carr for allowing me to speak. With a background in education and not only a job in the outdoor industry, but a passion for the outdoors, I could ramble on all day. So I'm going to try to stick to my script here. Again, my name is Tracy Berry, and I serve as the Northwoods Trails Coordinator for Visit Hot Springs. In that role, I help manage and promote a world-class 30-plus mile and expanding bike-optimized trail system, not only open to mountain biking, but to hiking and trail running as well, and hopefully, in the near future, non-motorized water activities by 2027. Our trails have become a cornerstone of tourism and community life in our region. We opened in late 2018 with myself being the only Northwoods staff. I hired our head of maintenance, Jake Meredith, 1 month later, and Jake and I would joke about one day there's going to be a degree for our jobs. doing what we do now. And at that time, we were the first in the state doing what we're doing now, working in paid positions, maintaining and promoting an outdoor recreation amenity for Hot Springs, the Diamond Lakes region, and our state. We have since added a position under Jake, and with a future expansion are looking at the possibility of adding another. In the Diamond Lakes region, outdoor recreation isn't just a hobby. It's a key part of our economy and our identity. Visitors come from across the country to enjoy our lakes, our trails, and our public lands. According to our most recent Longwoods Economic Impact Report, to the tune of 9.7 million visitors and 1 billion in visitor spending. Tourism and outdoor recreation together fuel small businesses, attract new residents, and enhance our overall quality of life. Statewide, the Arkansas Office of Outdoor Recreation recently released a study by Heartland Ford that shows that in 2023 alone, the outdoor recreation economy contributed $7.3 billion to Arkansas's GDP, supported more than 68,000 jobs, and generated nearly 8% of all state tax revenue. It now accounts for 2.5% of the state's total GDP, and for the first time surpassing farming, and has grown 33% since 2019, outpacing the national average. As interest continues to grow, so does the need for a skilled workforce, folks who understand both the natural resource side of recreation and how to create safe, welcoming, and engaging visitor experiences. Right now, employers across the region, from city, state, and federal agencies, parks departments, to outfitters and hospitality businesses, are looking for workers with that combination of technical skill and customer service mindset. That's why the proposed outdoor recreation focused programs are so valuable. These programs would provide hands-on, career-ready training for students who want to live and work in the Diamond Lakes region, supporting the growth of our outdoor economy. It's an investment not just in education, but in workforce development and community sustainability. This program will help ensure that our region continues to thrive as one of Arkansas's leading outdoor destinations, with a homegrown workforce ready to carry that momentum forward. We appreciate your consideration of approval for these programs. And again, thank you for your time in welcoming me this morning.
She should have done my part. Thank you for your consideration. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer to the best of my ability.
Comment and then ask a question. You know, Arkansas now is kind of the mountain biking capital, I guess, of the country. And the Ozark Highlands Trail, all that is very, very popular. So this is a great program that I think is important. I counted the students here, and all these programs, there are 115 new students. Now, that's not an unduplicated number, though, is it?
So we have two, first of all, most of my estimations were a little bit on the low side for the program. We believe the interest is far greater than what was there. The difference with this program is we will also have workforce students. And those numbers are hard to determine at this point. We've got 7 CPs and 2 degree tracks. We will also have workforce students with those credit students. So workforce students may come to take 1 CP, not any of the others. The credit students may take 3 or 4 of the CPs. It's very difficult to kind of estimate at this point what the numbers will be.
Getting 2 certificates at the same time?
Yes.
If you're saying, okay.
I was just want to comment that I think our friends at National Park are kind of reading higher ed tea leaves. The design of this program lends itself to short-term Pell that's on its way to fruition. We've been waiting on it for a decade or more. It's also looks to be like it's going to be able to take advantage of the changes of the Workforce Challenge Scholarship. So there's funding opportunities with the design of making it an a la carte so that someone who is working full-time can come take a piece of the program and certificate to upskill and working folks can still, increase their wage opportunity all the while taking baby steps toward their degree attainment. So I just, I want to applaud you on the creativity and the design. Also, I want to mention that we've already have people in the division with our Engage Arkansas program that houses AmeriCorps, that there are two national programs related to outdoor rec in the AmeriCorps program in Arkansas, where there are connectivity to this. And there's also connectivity, as was mentioned, with our K-12 CTE and a project with the Arkansas Game and Fish. So I think it's true to form for the Hot Springs community and national parks. And I'm looking forward to all the good things that result. Thank you.
So looking at this, I had a couple of questions about it. So just to clarify, high school students are not taking this right now as concerned.
No.
So my challenge with these programs is that, and this was in your proposal, is the wage numbers for these folks that are coming out and getting these degree pathways, these CPs, these technical certificates, and especially associate's degrees. Because historically, while this has been a very profitable industry for the state, the people who hold up this industry and work in this industry are not making above like median wage and things. And that's where my concern comes for this, because several of the programs, the career pathways had insufficient data, which means there's not many people working in those positions right now in the region. Or I think the highest that I saw was like $18 an hour. And that's $37,000 a year, best case scenario. Any comment on kind of working with students to make sure that they're being able to make a living wage?
Well, first of all, some of this, again, we're going to be upskilling existing employees. The second thing, outdoor rec is virtually impossible using Lightcast or any other source to determine what the wages are, because the field is so broad. It's incredibly broad. It could be from somebody who, is trained in biology and works for one of the federal park services, to someone who pulls tickets at an amusement park, to someone who does social hour in a nursing home. The breadth of it makes it incredibly difficult to pinpoint what jobs are available, because there's any number of jobs available. What we did is we asked our community partners, what will get somebody in the door, and then once they're in the door, be able to work their way to an established career. And that's what we build the curriculum around. There's going to be a tremendous variety of opportunities for students in this field. I understand your question completely. We were very frustrated trying to find the job data. Tracy, she's still frustrated. And this was months ago. It is tough, but it doesn't mean there aren't opportunities there for students. And also the opportunities are nationwide, of course, for people who are in this field. We believe that the growth that we're experiencing in this state, in this industry, and where we are located, the positioning we have, and the opportunities we have, the way this is being taught, because we'll have people at the U.S. Forestry Service, we'll have people in all of these unique sites and locations. We're going to have internships. We're going to have opportunities for students to do really well. And if they wish to transfer and complete a bachelor's degree, that's what the TC and the AAS are for. There's programming specifically in those for transfer that they can go and continue their education.
So that leads me into kind of my next question, and I will say that if there are going to be engaged partners anywhere in the state, this is, I think Hot Springs for the rest of them. And I just want to be mindful of the wages, because I mean, like looking at your courses, I was looking through and be like, that looks like really fun. I'd like to get a CP in that, or, take kayaking and mountain and, backpacking and hiking and things. So I just know that that's going to be something that students are going to be very interested in. And if we're sending them out into the workforce, we want to make sure that we're telling them that, yes, you can make a living wage on this. But you brought up the bachelor's and the associate's degree. I mean, and that was the other concern, is kind of that wage top out. What is the benefit for a student to get that associate's degree? What's the next step in that for your kids?
So I think for the associate's degree, that would be a good stepping stone for anyone who wanted to continue in natural resources. The associate's degree has programming that's specific to the Park Service, for example. It's not a management degree. They would have to continue on to do that, but it is an introduction to all of the things they would get in a bachelor's program. Outdoor programming for people that want to work at camps or work in group settings, outdoor leadership. All of these things are classes that are typically found in bachelor's programs, not only in the state, but everywhere in the country.
And then locally, I saw your letters of support, and I think it's great having something from the Department of Outdoor Recreation. Do you know how many openings there are for some of these programs? Because I know we're starting out with 4, 6, but you're getting up to like 12-year graduates and things like that. Are there that many opportunities in the
Absolutely.
area?
Absolutely. We have just for the CP and tourism and hospitality, we deactivated our credit hospitality program last year because employers were just training students themselves. They wouldn't send them to us. Oaklawn invested $300,000 in our culinary center, and Oaklawn is going to provide through Workforce all of the training for our hospitality now, which has now been built back as part of the credit CP in this program. We have tremendous support in our community, and I believe we have plenty of availability for students. I have just at last count, I have about 15 internships specifically in the Park Service. So.
Well, and that was the one that I was most concerned about, is the trail management or the recreation management piece, having those opportunities and openings available. So
Yep.
Thank you for answering my
You're
questions.
welcome. You're welcome.
I would add that I had some of the same questions about the labor market analysis and, trying to do due diligence. Some of our labor market analysis is really, it's not a perfect science. When you have trouble matching occupation codes and you have seasonal work, or you have the hospitality business, which is really one of those where you have non-reported wages. So when you have non-reported wages in cash business, not all of the wage impact shows up. It's also very seasonal. So you find people, that have other opportunities or are piecing together 1099 work or gig work as it's called. And so I do think that there's opportunity. I think it being aligned with the state's vision to double, the hospitality industry, outdoor industry in Arkansas. After a lot of digging around and looking at all the different variables, I feel really good about the program.
Well, and Kim, we didn't survey our community. We went out and sat down with them and had many discussions with them about specifically what they wanted. That's what gave us kind of the sense of not only what's available in the community in terms of jobs, but what the need was from our community partners. And we feel very, very confident in the efficacy of this program to deliver that workforce.
For comments, questions? Okay, let's, can I get a motion to approve agenda item 7.1? Second? Second by Carolyn. Remember to hit your mics there when you do that. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
The Associate of Applied Science in Uncrewed Aerial Systems and Data Applications. It's a technical certificate in uncrewed aerial systems and data applications, an associate degree and a certificate. Certificates of proficiency in uncrewed aerial systems by North Arkansas College. An uncrewed aerial system is a drone, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's just a complicated name. Good.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Mr. Campbell.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Carr. I'll call the program UAS, so I don't have to repeat it a bunch. The program was developed with support from a 3-year National Science Foundation grant of over $582,000. The program in UAS and data applications will prepare students for careers in commercial drone operation, data analytics, and related emerging applications across industries such as agriculture, criminal justice, digital media, real estate, and construction. Graduates will earn their FAA Part 107 certification. Proposed 16 credit hour, 100% online CP and UAS will focus on the skills necessary to safely and responsibly operate drones in commercial, governmental, and recreational environments. The 31 credit hour TC and UAS and data apps aims to educate students on analysis, interpretation, and application of aerial data, effective communication, and the evaluation of ethical issues, privacy implications, and cybersecurity threats associated with drone use. And expanding on the TC, the proposed 61 credit hour Associate of Applied Science will prepare students for advanced roles in the drone industry. All faculty, equipment, and instructional resources will be funded through the NSF grant, ensuring no new costs or allocations will be required. In terms of need, the program was a bit tricky for us because this is also, this is an emerging field that is often embedded within other industries. So the raw data were a little bit thin. North Arkansas College worked with local employers to determine workforce needs in their area, and the institution has provided survey data and letters of support in addition to the evidence and federal support provided by NSF. 2 Arkansas public institutions currently offer similar certificate level programs. One other institution offers a full range of related credentials, but those programs are being phased out. So perhaps not consequential, but definitely coincidental. Projected initial enrollment tables are outlined in the agenda item as they vary slightly depending on the type of credential. And Dr. Matt Carden is here to answer any questions and speak to your consideration. Dr. Carden.
Thanks, Mason. And just a brief aside, Chuck got up here and said that he felt nervous now. I just want to say I don't, because even though I grew up in Missouri and spent most of my life there, I was born in Arkansas, and BB's my dad's hometown. So I haven't been here for like 35 years, but I spent my childhood coming here, so I feel like I have a hometown advantage. I am actually going to let the most of the heavy lifting of anything that we're going to say by way of a presentation be done by the team that I have brought. And I'll introduce them in a moment and bring 2 of them specifically up here. But I just want to say, I want to repeat what Mason said. This was an interesting proposal to develop and to support. You know, we sent in, we spent a lot of time on it. We probably spent, I know that since I've been at the college, I'm in my 5th year now, we spent more time and effort developing this than others because the field is new and because it's technical. And when we went to get the workforce analysis from ADHE, you know, the normal sources of information came up kind of dry. So we had to do our own legwork to get the information about it. I know that one question that might come up about a program like this is, since in the context of what Mason said, you know, how does this fit our strategic identity? How does this fit with our strategic plan? Well, we at North Ark in Harrison we have in our strategic plan ongoing enrichment of our curricula, and we have ongoing support and enrichment of our workforce offerings, and we have development of local of programs and skills and producing graduates who are of specific use to the local area. This is all built into our strategic plan, right? And we look at this program as being entirely located within that. You know, I could read you chapter and verse from our strategic goals and strategic objectives, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say this is deeply embedded in our strategic identity and directions right now. I can give you more information about that if you want. Right now, what I want to do is mention who's here with me. I'll ask you to raise your hands. We have Rick Williams, who is a lead faculty member in our business and IT department and is our chief person. He's a former, actually, director of our IT services department, now faculty. And he's chief faculty member for information technology and computer information systems and cybersecurity. I'll ask him to come up in a minute. Next to him is Lyndon Newberry, who is also in our business and IT department. And he is very keen on the data applications and data analytics side of things and can speak to that if need be. Next to Lyndon is Rich Ham. And Dr. Ham is actually not with North Ark. He's from the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. And Rich, what is specifically your title there again? Good to hear that, Director of Advanced Air Mobility and Homeland Security. He had a long career with Homeland Security and a career in the Air Force and is something of a walking encyclopedia and guru of all things aviation. And he was working with the drones before they were called drones. So he's going to speak a bit this morning to answer some of your questions. And then next to Rich is Dr. Laura Berry, who's been with the college for over 2 decades. She's with our Grants and Special Projects Department right now, so she's deeply embedded in the National Science Foundation grant that supports and funds this particular program. She also spent something like 16 years as the Dean of Arts, Sciences, Business, and IT. So I tried to bring along a team that would show the breadth of the expertise we have behind developing this. I want to ask Rick Williams to come up right now and actually tell you a little more about how this particular program came about briefly and explain to you what it is intended to do and for whom it's intended to be done and how it fits into the grant.
All right, well, thank you. How this came about is basically we were looking at options for grant work, and we got to talking to different area folks in our area. Primarily where it started was with our local police department. They come out, I was teaching IT classes, and they came out and did a demonstration, and we got a huge response to that of interest from our students and other people. We even had people coming in from other areas to look at this demonstration that went on. So that's kind of what spurred, said, hey, why not take a look at this? So we dove into it a little bit deeper and decided to write for this grant, which again is going to be fully funded for everything that we're going to be doing. Again, we looked at this not just to create a pilot. People can go out and go online, they can take a test and become certified. But we looked at this to be a little bit more inclusive. We wanted to look, and when we talked to other employers, we talked to Entergy, we talked to Garmin USA, we talked to UVT, Ozarks Electric, so Drone Up, Zipline, Ozark Electric. We brought a lot of those folks in to talk to them and see what it is they need. They need pilots, of course, but they needed people that could analyze the data after they flew their drone. And so that's where we added the data applications part. So we needed folks that could not only fly, which is the one of the key pieces as well, but to also how do they decipher the information that they're gathering. So that is part of what we want to do. But the other part is, there's so many different fields that drones touch. Real estate, I'm sure you've seen real estate, have the photos of the houses. Photography, criminal justice, search and rescue. Agriculture is huge right now with this. So we wanted to kind of bring in also some of those other fields within this program so that they can get a taste for, hey, which way do I want to go? Which way do I want to use this? And we know that, the job market is sometimes not stable. So we also added in business classes so they can become self-employed if they wish. So try to give them the skills to not only do the technical side, but also the business skills to where they can form their own business. So that's kind of just an overview of what the program's looking like and what we had planned to do with this.
You can feel free to ask him
Yes,
questions at this
please.
point if you're like. I am going to ask Dr. M.
Any questions for Dr. Harden? Thank you very much.
Rich, would you please come up? As I say, Rich is a fount of information about this particular topic. And I think he can fill in some of the things that you might want to know about the surrounding context. When you hear Mason say things like, we know that there are a couple of other programs, and there's a phase out going on, the question comes up, well, what the heck, right? The particular timing right now is incredibly ripe for the kind of thing that we're talking about here. And that's something that Rich can tell you about.
I'll give a disclaimer to start with. If you put a microphone in front of me to talk about aviation, as my students would attest, it's a dangerous thing. So if I see you start to nod, I'll get the cue that I need to move on. In Arkansas in particular, there's some very specific things that have changed in the last year. One is The Up Summit has gathered a lot of momentum. And by that momentum, we're talking about not just large drones, but also manufacturers of drones. And we're also talking about individuals that are looking for workforce. I'm involved in when we get probing for economic development around the state, when they come to U of A. And the number one thing they always ask is, what's the availability of workforce? And will they be able to train to do what we need? If I looked 5 years ago at what was going on for the skills that individuals asked to have in the UAS space, they would always talk about, I need to get a 107 certificate and then I'll get hired. That's a basic foundation, but that only starts, you're not really in the market, you're hardly competitive just to have a 107 certificate now. You need to understand some things about cyber, and I'll talk a little bit more about why right now that's urgently important, and you need to understand some things, some very simple things about maintenance and some other things and data analysis. Just this last 2 months ago, the FAA released a new notice of proposed rulemaking for FAR 108 that they promised us to have in 2018. And so everybody looked at this anticipating it and were building programs. Well, now it's actually here. In that program, that students have to be certified, and they, as a part, their employer will require cybersecurity, the ability to do analysis of data, and then the ability to do programming to understand how swarming. So one pilot flying up to 10, could be up to 100 aircraft at the same time. I watch this every day. I'm kind of a geek in that area and look, and on any given day in Arkansas, you'll see between 25 and as many as 50 jobs that are advertised. Right now, Zipline, subcontractors to Zipline and drone up for a visual observer position is there. And then we also have Walmart's hiring. They just hired one. They're hiring another one specifically. They want to look at their drone delivery processes and safety. Also, this is the gateway, specifically the gateway in how we get into the next step. The FAA specifically designed 108 and the ones that are coming after that drones are just the model for what will become taxis, airborne taxis, and the rest. And we saw them actually fly. One of them flew into Bentonville, and now we're doing testing of those now. Those programs require broad understanding of programming, cybersecurity, and other skill sets to be able to accept that when it comes. The legislature, last session, actually, in thinking of this, that this is where we're actually going to go, actually passed a requirement that the state has to develop a system of public vertiports, which is essentially heliport, like a heliport, except specifically for advanced air mobility aircraft. And the experts that are going to have to look at that to say, is there power? Is the airspace right? Will we be able to have the appropriate tools that we need to get in and out of there? That's going to come from programs like this. And the last thing I would say, from a little bit more emotional, is as somebody who loves Arkansas, family from Arkansas, I was gone as soon as I could retire and get back here. I did after I retired the second time. I've taught, the university has taught high schools where we had kids that were very interested in learning about aviation. And some of them just use this as a tool. Two of them that took the course that I had at Bentonville went on to apply to the service academies. They were using this because they wanted to learn about aviation as a tool. U of A Fayetteville, 4-year or doctoral programs, we don't have a great way to figure out how to do that and the money work out. But the 2-year schools do. So we sat and watched as we're waiting for these to develop, and Kansas State comes into our state and does concurrent credit in our high schools in this area. Oklahoma State comes into our state, does concurrent credit, and that just hurts my heart. We should be doing that in Arkansas. So anyway, I did better than I thought I would on time, but I'm glad to answer any questions if you'd like for me to tell you a little bit more. I don't ask a really deep question or you'll hear more than you want, but I'll give you as much as you want or afterwards. So glad to answer any questions I can.
Any questions for Rich or Dr. Harden's team, any of them? Yes, Grayson.
So looking at this, and we've talked about this proposal, and I think you guys have done some really good work on digging into employment opportunities for that, because I know when we talk about, we want you to design programs for the future and careers for the future, that sometimes that can be challenging on getting data around that. So, but, you know, you touched on real estate, photography. I like that there's business classes integrated, because you will have several students that want to start their own operation, ag. And you also spoke to retail. I mean, we know that Walmart is testing drone deliveries. They've bought property specifically to do that in Northwest Arkansas. So that sector of retail is coming quickly, as well as insurance. I think the more and more disasters we have, you see more drones flying around properties and being part of the insurance process. One thing I was interested in was the salaries, that you included, because they were good. They were very strong, around the $70,000 to $100,000 mark, and local, state, or national. And I kind of did some more research digging in on that, and that's in Arkansas. And so I think that's a really exciting something for exciting wage for kids in North Arkansas, that possibility. The question I have on this is around the associate's degree and cybersecurity, because we haven't really dug into that. How does cybersecurity fit into this? Because I know that this is a grant program through National Science Foundation. And what does that look like? If students are coming out with an associate's degree, where are they going after this?
So the cybersecurity piece, I warned you about asking this question, so I'll try to make it as, I'd say, make a long story short. My dad would say too late. But the specific piece in cyber, not just in 108, but in the new rules that have come out recently. So if you've seen any of the prohibition on the use of Chinese-made drones, or Russian drones too, but nobody buys them because they stink. They're no good. But the Chinese drones are pretty good. So the issue specifically, that cybersecurity issue, requires the operator to certify that the drone has met, or the drone receives a certification from the manufacturer, a National Defense Authorization Act certification through the NIST program. So in these programs in 108, and that means anybody that goes on in this new program and is doing aerial application under 108, they have to certify that. And they also have to do the third-party certification when they connect the data and when they put data on any cloud-based or internal servers. So we're within a few months. It'll be finalized in March, where it'll say you won't be able to do it. And in fact, in 108, it says they can't use Chinese drones, and it's up to that operator to certify that they only use that drone. So the cybersecurity piece has been building for a while, as well as a security piece. You have to have an actual clearance for all of the operators that are involved and everybody that writes code. So it is so intertwined now that if a student comes and they've got that background, they automatically have a leg up. I have a 107. I've done programming. I have done these 3 cybersecurity focused areas. They're going to get a job.
Any more questions?
The way this associates is built, is there a program at U of A where students are pretty much filtering into that as well?
So the U of A has a graduate micro-credential that originally was built primarily because we had an issue about ourselves being compliant. We have drones that cost over $200,000, and we don't like graduate students crashing those drones. And so we spent a lot of time training them. What happened over time, though, was more and more and more from all the disciplines, agriculture, engineering, architect, they all began to come to that, and they wanted to take the 107 course, including juniors and seniors that would ask for a waiver to take that graduate course. And so we would see them. Some of them would come in and just take one course associated with it. But every time they'd say, man, I wish we had this in my program specifically so that I could just come and get more in this area. So individuals have been piecing together different things, cyber, GIS, data, analytics, science type courses, and then take 107 to do it. We got some great, we've had placed kids for some great internships. One of mine got an internship in Branson at Top of the Rock Golf Course, and all he did was just look at the greens and do an analysis every day to tell them how much fertilizer. That's a tough job. But they loved him, and they loved what he did in a short period of time. So very wide area with a lot to do.
More questions? Spoken? Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to approve agenda item number 8? Motion? Remember, get your mics on when you do that. Second?
Second.
Grayson? Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed?
Thank you very much. Maybe I'll go look up some old architecture or something.
Now, I've got, what time is it? I've got 10:26. Let's come back in 10 minutes and we'll finish up, and I hope in about an hour. Okay? I have to hit the rest. Let's get started. So if you'll come back and take your seats. We're going now to information items number 9 and 10, and Mrs. Tracy Harrell will present those items.
Okay, agenda item number 9 are the letters of notification that were received since our July meeting. Letters of notification are reasonable and moderate extensions of existing approved certificates and degrees. Here it is. As you can see here, we have 23 institutions submitted letter of notification requesting 142 total actions that affect 132 degree programs. The majority of this quarter's LONs were approved program list corrections and curriculum revisions. I don't know. I can't, after that break, I can't get with it. Sorry. All right. These are approved by the commissioner, but must be presented to you before initiation. And the full breakdown is in the board book. This is not an action item, but if you have any questions, I will answer them. Try to.
Any questions about item 9? Okay, item
Okay.
10.
All right. Item 10 are the letters of intent that have been received since July. Letters of intent are notifications from institutions on their plans in the future to offer a new degree program or establish a new organizational unit. We received 9 letters of intent from 4 institutions, and this summarizes their future plans. And this is not a voting item either, but if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
At item number 10. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Thank you.
Action item number 11. Excuse me, this is agenda item, not an action item. Agenda item number 11, out of state and Arkansas private institutions, page 11.1.
Good morning.
Ms. Colbert.
Yes, agenda item number 11 is a list of the out-of-state institutions that are requesting your approval or certification of programs. These programs all meet the requirements of Arkansas law and board policy. As you can see, there's a few institutions from California, one from Minnesota, and an institution from Colorado. And we also have an Arkansas private institution requesting authorization or approval of a new program, the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education.
Any questions about this item? Yeah, this is an action item, so we need a motion to approve agenda item number 11.
I'm awesome.
Okay, I put a second. Good, thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed? Thank you. Ms. Gober, stay with us. Information items number 12 and 13 will provide, you're going to provide the background on those items.
Yes, agenda item number 12 is the out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions, the letters of notification. You'll see that several of these institutions have requested reauthorization or recertification of their programs. And we have an institution that has requested exemption from certification. And we have a few institutions from out of state that have certificates they're requesting approval.
Are you going to say any more on item 13? Is that?
Yes, and then item 13 is the out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions letters of intent. These are programs that will be coming to us in the future. And as you can see, a lot of those are reauthorization or recertification programs that have previously been approved. They're requesting reapproval.
Those of you in the audience who are from institutions would find it very interesting what private schools and out-of-state public schools are coming to Arkansas and offering amazing list of degree programs. That is an information item, so no motions needed. Anything else? Any questions for her? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, action item number 14. The minutes of the last meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting of July 25th?
Motion to approve. Time.
Agenda item number 15, a nominating committee for board officers, and I've asked Lucas Pointer to chair that committee, and Carolyn and Catherine to join him in that. So they'll be reporting to us at our next meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve that committee? Is there a second? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed? Thank you. Item number 16. Warden will present the coordinating board meeting schedule for this coming year. Dr. Warden.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to report we had several offers to host our meetings. Our 2026 meeting schedule is as follows. On January 23rd, we will be meeting University of Arkansas at Little Rock. April 24th, we will meet at Ozarka College. July 24th, we will be at University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, and October 23rd, we will be at ASU Mountain Home. I appreciate these institutions' willingness to host and look forward to visiting your campuses.
Thank you, Commissioner Warden. Now we'll take your report.
Yes, sir. Chair Carr, members of the board, I appreciate your service and appreciate you being here today. Just have a few items. One's kind of exciting news. We've been really busy trudging away at our daily operations, but we've also changed locations. So we've now moved from the old Main Street Mall downtown to Capitol 2. I was told by Nicole that if I offered to have an open house this week, that I would no longer be the commissioner. I'll be looking for something else to do. So we're not going to have an open house right now, but we are planning an open house around the holidays and look forward to having you all on our new offices. Nicole has put out a request. We have a couple things on the floor to kind of recognize our institutions. We have a few pictures and things, but we're going to do a pennant wall. So if you all have a pennant for your institution, please get with Nicole and send us that. And if you have a stuffed mascot, we're also going to do a display to kind of showcase our colleges and universities. So please get with us on if you have things you'd like to represent your campus. We'd be happy to display those in our new location. The offices are really nice. We are back on the Capitol Mall, which it makes it a little easier to get back and forth, not having to drive from the Main Street Mall several times a week, or from downtown back Main Street Mall back to the Capitol Mall. So we're getting settled in. We still have boxes and things to clear out, but slow but sure, I think probably by the end of next week we'll be settled. So happy to report on that. One other item, our annual trustees conference will be held on December 4th. We're going to host this conference at UAPTC. I appreciate UAPTC and their willingness to host. The governor will be in attendance and make remarks, as will Secretary Oliva. We have an all-star lineup. One notable point is our keynote speaker for lunch will be Barbara Gelman, which is HLC CEO. So she's going to come talk a little bit about accreditation to our Board of Trustees members. So please bring your boards. This is going to help them satisfy their continuing education requirements. We're looking for a good turnout. I think registration is open until November 3rd. So please remind your boards to register. A couple institutional changes I'd like to announce on effective on August 1st. Ike Wheeler became the interim chancellor for ASU Newport. Wheeler's been associated with ASU Newport for more than 30 years. In December of 19, he was named vice chancellor for leadership and community engagement. We appreciate his service in this interim role. Is Ike here? He's not? Okay, well, send him our best. One other announcement. At the end of the calendar year, my good friend, Dr. Deborah West, will retire as Chancellor of ASU Mid-South. She has served higher education for many, many years and has served as the Chancellor of ASU Mid-South since 2015. So please congratulate Dr. West on her retirement when you see her. For the rest of my time, I'd really like to yield that to Dr. Brendan Kelly, who's here with us today. Dr. Kelly, who's agreed to come before us. Dr. Kelly has been serving as the president of ASU System for just a little over a year now. Dr. Kelly, thank you for your willingness to come before us this morning, and we look forward to your update. Please welcome Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. I appreciate that and appreciate the invitation. Ken, when you asked me to give a 90-minute overview of the ASU system, I thought that was excessive, so I've shrunk that down, if you don't mind. I will tell you that after a year, the same thing that was transacted when I came to my first coordinating board meeting was a quick conversation when I was invited to the podium then between Ken and myself. And I had high hopes for what we could accomplish in higher education here, and he said, well, let's pick the percentage increase in people participating in higher education. And across the ASU system, that's exactly what we've tried to do over the last year. Academic year 2025 showed increases over academic year 2024 of students enrolled by 7% and credit hours by 8.5%. The number of students graduated increased by 5%, putting credentials of value into people's hands. During that same period, we offered across our member institutions, 1,255 students, 30,584 contact hours in non-credit workforce training. That's a 21% increase from the previous academic year. And this fall, we continue to see those increases in preliminary enrollment of 7% across the system, including 14% in first-time students and 8% more in transfers. And while we all talk about those enrollment statistics all of the time, that is participation in people earning credentials of value. And I will go back to credentials of value are our goal collectively. The Lumina Foundation refers to a credential of value as a certificate, a degree, whatever it is that creates economic prosperity marked by 15% higher than what you would have without that educational credential. And these are great steps forward for the state of Arkansas. Today, we're on the beautiful campus of ASU BB, and I know Chancellor Methvin offered a welcome this morning, and I'm quite certain that she focused in on the great advanced work that is happening on this campus related to precision ag. That is a key piece for this area of the state and the state at large. And it's important for us as an ASU system to be focused on where the puck is going to land. Sorry, I'm from the Detroit area. That's a hockey reference by Wayne Gretzky, but it's also a really important one because in education, we're often talking about achieving something that was relevant 2 years ago instead of where we need to land 5 years from now. And precision ag is a look forward into where our state needs to be. Just like healthcare is becoming an increasingly important part of our economy across the country, so too it is in Arkansas. And we have rural health challenges where we need more healthcare professionals. And the expansion of nursing, both at Three Rivers and the one that's about to get underway at ASU Mountain Home, are perfect testaments to us trying to go and move the needle on those fronts as well. I'll also note that part of an institution being in a community is being part of the community. Chancellor Wallace is here today, who leads ASU Mountain Home. And the types of community engagement, quality of life builders that he and his team have been focused on in partnership with the community make that a better place to live and to visit. And if you get a chance to go up and visit that area and that campus, you're going to see a trail that's in partnership with the city that is now complemented by an enormous sculpture garden that's the product of partnership. You're going to see, just like you do here at ASU BB, a lot of shows that are being put on in partnership with the community and for the benefit of the community, including apparently a guest speaker who was at Mountain Home a few weeks ago, who was a professional storm chaser during tornadoes. It went until 10:30, ladies and gentlemen. So I invite you up to visit that campus and all of our campuses. And Ken, I appreciate you referring to Ike's appointment at ASU Newport and Dr. West's retirement at ASU Mid-South, because next week we will formally launch chancellor searches for both of those institutions. So if you're interested, I've got 2 openings. And we are looking forward to having innovative, student-centric leaders take over the helm at both of those critical institutions for this state. As a system, we're also trying to just bring together opportunities for value for students. One of those initiatives is launching a Student Leadership Institute at the system level. It brings together student leaders from all of our 2-year institutions that is conducted in Little Rock so that they have a chance to learn leadership principles and advocacy, strategic decision-making, intersecting with legislators and other business leaders that we're able to rally in that space. That also helps to create a direct connection into our 4-year institutions with students who both gained the confidence and new sets of skills in their toolbox to carry that forward into the next step in their education. Finding ways to give students access is another critical part of our mission. And recently we signed a system-wide agreement with the Arkansas National Guard to try to provide more opportunities for students to get access to higher education opportunities despite the resource challenges that often come along with that. And the National Guard is a great partner on that front. It sets up resource centers, offers scholarship guidance, and even academic credit opportunities for military training. And I say that as the father of a member of the Georgia National Guard who went through college as a military intelligence analyst. The type of transformation that can occur in somebody's life when they get a chance to be exposed to an organization like that is remarkable, and it carries them into all of their endeavors afterwards. I'll mention 2 other items that I think are critical for us, both as a system and in some cases as a state. First is the vet school that is about to launch at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro. That is a game changer for this state. We do not have enough talent in veterinary science. We don't have enough pathways to get enough talent. And I'm glad that we're hosting this meeting at ASUB because this is the start. See, we have a vet tech program at the farm on this campus. And this offers a direct pipeline now to becoming a veterinarian. And I will tell you that the leader over our vet tech program here at ASU-BB will say, first and foremost, if you really want to perform well in veterinary school, go be a vet tech first, because every time somebody says, have you ever done on the first day of class in veterinary school, only the vet techs will raise their hand. There's another remarkable accomplishment that I think is important for us to know, and that came just a few weeks ago at Henderson State University. They received really notable, incredible gift to name the Caber College of Aviation Science and Nursing. And I point that out in particular because anytime you have a named college at a university, it's a remarkable accomplishment. But particularly at Henderson State University, it is a wonderful shot of adrenaline for that institution. And it also tells the story of where that institution is at and how Dr. Berry and his team are breathing just incredible and transformational life into it. That gift came to that college from Troy Caber in honor of his wife Lorraine and his experience at Henderson State University. He was a 1962 grad of Henderson State University. It is a transformational gift that will provide support to critical areas of talent production for the state of Arkansas, coming out of an institution that has served this state for a long, long time. And finally, I'll mention a new innovation that you'll see emerge out of the ground in Jonesboro, and that's the CREST Center. The Career Readiness Education and Skills Training Center at Arkansas State University is set to enhance workforce training in Northeast Arkansas, particularly in advanced automated manufacturing, steel manufacturing, and food processing. I point this particular one out because it is a partnership between three institutions, A-State, ASU Newport, and Arkansas Northeastern College. And quite frankly, that is, I think, how higher education is going to be defined in the 21st century, through partnership, through all of us pooling our talents and our gifts together so that we can produce the types of results that the state and employers need. And with that, I know I'm under 90 minutes and I apologize for disappointing you in that regard. I'll conclude my remarks and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity.
Kelly? A moment ago, we had our schedule for future meetings mentioned and we forgot to approve that. And so can I get a motion to approve that schedule? Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. Let's go to information item number 19. Ms. Sonia Hazelwood will present the annual report on credentials awarded. Ms. Hazelwood.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Carr. I have an information item for you today. It's the annual report of credentials awarded. On this first chart, we're going to take a look at some statewide credential trends. This is total students awarded and total credentials awarded on the same chart. The green bars represent the total credentials awarded for the past 10 years, and the blue bars represent the number of students that received those credentials. For the second year in a row, Arkansas institutions reported solid gains in both credentials awarded and the number of students receiving those credentials. 56,708 credentials were awarded in 25. That is a 5.7% increase. 45,300 students received those credentials. That is a 5.3% increase. These increases are due to a rise in awards for several degree levels, including certificates of proficiency, bachelor's degrees, and doctoral professional practice degrees. That way, you gotcha. Did it change? It did. The second chart is taking a look at our undergraduate certificate programs. The blue bars represent our certificates of proficiency, and the green ones represent the technical certificates. The number of certificates of proficiency awarded across the state continued an upward trend, increasing over 22% in 1 year. This does include our CPs of less than 9 credit hours. Healthcare leads the way with the highest number of CP awards, followed by production trades, mechanics, business administration, and general education. Technical certificates increased 2.8% compared to last year. Although TCs have remained consistently above 6,000 for the past 7 years, They have not shown the rapid growth that CPs have shown. TCs in healthcare lead the way, followed by general education, production trades, mechanics, and culinary and personal services, education, and engineering technologies. Undergraduate certificates awarded statewide represent about 33% of total credentials awarded each academic year. Here's a look at other undergraduate certificates that we offer in the state. The green bars represent our post-baccalaureate certificates, and the blue bars represent our advanced certificates. Advanced certificate programs offered by Arkansas Tech University and the University of Arkansas at Monticello include programs of study in electromechanical technology, healthcare, and business. Required credit hours for an advanced certificate range from 21 to 45. 10 four-year institutions offer post-bac certificates in engineering, industrial management, business administration, information technology, and education teaching in speech language impairments or English as a second language. Required credit hours for a post-bac certificate range between 12 and 43. Advanced certificates and post-bac certificates comprise only 2% of our total credentials awarded each year. This chart is a look at the 10-year trend of associate degrees and bachelor's degrees. In 24, associate degree awards jumped over 12% as we awarded 11,665. But in 2025, we reported a 4.4% decline in associate degrees. The four-year institutions reported a 3.2% decline in associate degrees, while the two-year colleges reported a decline of almost 6%. This contrasts with the considerable increase at the CP level, indicating a significant move towards shorter-term workforce-related credentials. Over 53% of associate degrees awarded in 25 were in general education studies. Associate degree awards make up 20% of the statewide total. Institutions reported an 8% increase in the number of bachelor's awards, with business and healthcare programs leading the way. And the bachelor's completions comprise 30% of our statewide total. This chart reflects the 10-year trends for our graduate degree programs. The blue bars represent our master's degrees, and the green one are particularly our specialist programs. Master's degree awards remain consistent in 25, awarding over 6,500 statewide. Popular program areas include education teaching, which awarded 27% of the total, business administration awarded 20%, and computer science awarded 14% of the total. Master's degrees comprise 12% of the statewide total. Education and teaching programs represent 95% of the postmaster's specialist awards. And those awards comprise slightly over 1% of the statewide total. Here's a look at our doctoral professional practice trends. The green bar represents our professional practice degrees. The blue ones represent our doctoral research programs. Over 39% of all doctoral research credentials are awarded in educational leadership and administration. Other popular research program areas include engineering, biology, physical sciences, and computer science. Doctoral research awards make up less than 1% of our statewide total. The professional practice awards increased almost 12% last year. An increase in nursing practice awards contributed to the 12% increase. 80% of professional practice completions are in healthcare, while the other 20% are in law. Professional practice degrees comprise slightly over 2% of the statewide total. It doesn't like me today. There we go. We have some institutional charts now that with some trend lines available. This is a 10-year look The light red box represents the lowest number of credentials awarded during this 10-year period, and the green highlight represents the year the highest number of credentials were awarded for that institution. University of Arkansas reported the highest percentage change when comparing 25 to 24. That was 12% increase in the number of credentials awarded. ASU increased total credentials 8.6% between 24 and 25. 5 other four-year institutions reported positive percent changes. Those were Arkansas Tech University, University of Central Arkansas, UA Little Rock, UA Monticello, and University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. 4 universities reported a decline in credentials awarded in 25. Our most significant gains in 25 for the four-year institutions were an 8.5% increase in bachelor's degrees and a 30.4% increase in CPs awarded. Some two-year college highlights. 5 two-year colleges reported significant increases over 25% in the number of credentials awarded. UA Rich Mountain, South Ark, ASU Mid-South, ANC, and CARC. 8 two-year colleges reported their highest ever credential total. ASU Mid-South, ASU Newport, ASU Three Rivers, Northwest Arkansas Community College, South Ark, CARC, Phillips Community College, and UA Rich Mountain. 7 two-year colleges reported a decline in the total number of credentials. Those declines range between 4.2% and 16.9%. Associate degree awards declined by almost 6% for the two-year colleges in 2025, while technical certificates were up 3.4% and CPs increased almost 19% for 2025. And here are those institutional trends. Now for our private and independent institution, we have some highlights. Half of the private independent institutions reported an increase in credentials in 25. Institutions with percentage increases higher than 20% were Baptist Health Center in Little Rock, Ouachita Baptist University, Hendrix College, and Arkansas College of Health Education. The private independent institutions reported a 5% increase in total credentials last year. And here are those institutional trends. That concludes my report. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
So would any comments or questions? I want to make just a personal comment. A couple of months ago, I met with a group of high school teachers and I said, hey, I'm concerned that our universities are having and colleges are having to teach more and more remedial classes to get your students ready for college. And that concerned me greatly. And then next week later, I guess I got a newsletter that goes to American business people all over the world. And it said that they were frustrated because colleges and universities aren't preparing students for them properly. So I'm glad we measure the credentials that we give. But also, I want to make sure that every class that graduates from an Arkansas institution is better prepared than the last class. And I want it to be rigorous, and I want Arkansas students to be prepared to compete. They're no longer just competing with folks from Oklahoma and Tennessee. They're competing with people from Guangzhou, China, and Moscow and Russia. And so it's a very competitive world. And I want Arkansas students to be ready to compete and succeed. And so it's a challenge. I want to keep measuring the number of credentials. I wish we had a way to measure the quality of the students who finish, but just make sure your students who finish are better prepared than last year's class. Sorry for the sermon there for a minute, but any questions, Mrs. Hazelwood? Thank you.
I
Yes.
can make a comment real quick. Oftentimes when we meet with companies coming in and looking at Arkansas as a possibility, because it's getting more and more competitive, they ask about the education in Arkansas. And I want to really celebrate this, that we're awarding more credentials, that we're awarding more degrees on every level across the state, whether it's 2-year, 4-year, and then post-bac as well, because I think that really sends a strong message that Arkansas is doing the work that we've heard for a number of years, that when businesses are looking to move, that it's workforce, 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 and we're meeting those challenges. So I really like us to be pushing out these numbers and letting people across the state and across the country know that we're doing the work and we're changing some things.
Jason, any more comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sonia. Information item number 20, Mr. Mason Campbell will present the report on the academic program status. Excuse me.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. As you all know, the Academic Affairs Office receives notifications from our institutions of their intent to add, delete, or otherwise modify academic programs throughout the year, and we present these changes to you at every quarterly board meeting. Academic programs can sit in one of these 6 statuses, with the exception of the deleted programs are all noted on our official ADHE approved programs list. And I just want to clarify, I always say this, when we mean academic program in this report, because we often consider stackable credentials to be a single program. For this report, every single program is an individual credential, okay? And then just to differentiate from what Sonia just presented, just to make sure she was presenting on graduates, and this report is on the programs that those graduates sit in. So this slide and the next few focus on academic year 2025, just this past year, and then we'll move into a 5-year, a historical 5-year period. In 2025, institutions added a total of 107 new programs. 14 of those were new program proposals and 93 were letters of notification. Institutions deleted or phased out 159 and inactivated 89 academic programs. Boy, that thing is delayed. Okay. This is a look at status changes for all 4-year public institutions in AY 25. The blue color is program additions. The red is program deletions. Yellow is inactivations. ATU and ASU added the most programs last year, and HSU and ASU inactivated the most programs, while ASU, UA Fort Smith, and UAM deleted the most programs. Similarly, look at the 2-year institutions. ANC and UACC had the most program additions last year at 12 each. ASU 3 Rivers and ASU Newport had the most program deletions. ASU 3 Rivers and ASU Mid-South had the most inactivations. Okay, I think that's where it needs to be. This graph shows change by award type. Certificate of Proficiency and Technical Certificate award types have seen the most status changes with high numbers of additions and deletions, which we would consider to be expected. It's worth noting that institutions have deleted or inactivated right at 50 bachelor's programs over the last year, which is more than we've ever seen in this report. Most were in the zip code categories of education, foreign language, visual and performing arts, and social sciences. This table shows a breakdown of program status by zip code for just this past year. And as with all these changes, these are ordered by the zip code groups with the most changes. So we just wanted to show some some groups with the most overall adjustments. Some have more deletions and some have more additions. The zip code group with the most status changes was business, which was the same as last year. And then we had 10% change in each category of law enforcement, mechanic and repair tech, education, and health professions. For the next few slides, we'll take a look at status changes over the past 5-year period. Program additions peaked in AY 22 at 194 and have decreased 81% when compared to AY 25, so slowed down a little bit. Program additions and phase outs are up more than 200% over AY 24. And historically, program and activations were not used often, but are becoming more popular option. They're up by only 5%. And the next three charts show public institutions over a 5-year period. Also want to highlight that these do not consider the institution size or the total number of active programs. You'll notice that they vary drastically as you look across the institutions. Very few institutions make status changes at like steady rates. You'll have periods of significant activity and then years where they change very few. This chart shows only the number of program additions at each institution. Over the past 5 years, Arkansas Tech, Black River Tech, and ASU have added the most programs. This graph shows program deletions. ATU, UALR, UCA, and ASU have deleted the most programs over the past 5 years. And this chart shows program activations with much lower overall numbers. The next chart shows status changes broken out by award type. Scale of each graph has been adjusted for the best visual line, so please be careful when comparing the charts. These two charts show CPs and TCs, and short-term credentials continue to be the types created most frequently and most frequently changing. These two show trends for associate and bachelor's programs. Associate program additions increase slightly and deletions increase significantly, while bachelor program additions are down and deletions are up. And these two show trends for master's and doctorate. Again, just keep in mind the numbers for these are incredibly low for these two credential types. And then similar to the table we looked at before that showed zip code groups with the most changes for just 25. This one is a 5-year period. We see basically the same zip code groups rise to the top. These are just the top 10 with the full list in the board book. This table shows the actual number of active programs within each SIP category for each year over a 5-year period. It would indicate broadly whether certain types of programs are growing or declining across the state. And the last two columns are comparing AY 25 to AY 21. We just grabbed, I think, 12 or 13 of the more drastic changes, but the full list is in the board book. And then the next few slides are new this year. Instead of focusing only on the status changes, we want to show a trend of overall total active programs for the last 10 academic years. This is a full table that all of these charts were created from. So each graph depicts a different award type. The charts speak for themselves, really. These first two are CPs and TCs over the last 10 years. Each have seen several years of growth and occasional decline. Associate degrees have maintained steady growth, and although bachelor's degrees have been declining, they're still up over 3% over AY 15. And graduate certifications have experienced the most growth over the past 10 years, increasing by 108%. And then both master's and doctorate programs have experienced periods of growth and decline. There's a comprehensive table, as I already showed in the board book. So, are there any questions?
Mason, are we seeing the graduate certificate sort of not take the place, but influence enrollment in master's degrees?
I'm not sure about influence. We, the graduate certificate space, I think it's fair to say it's become more creative over the last few years. And the short-term credentials, even at the lower levels, are also being leveraged at the upper levels as well. So we've been supporting that work. Another influencing fact is graduate certs are where you were seeing a lot of your teaching licenses where you could grab 18 hours of a discipline so you could become a licensed teacher. So institutions were trying to meet that mark. So a lot of different factors, but we're very encouraged by the increase in graduate certificates because they're great tools. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So kind of looking at these program and activations and deletions, it's a little disheartening to see that number rise. Would it be possible to see like an actual list of the courses that are scheduled to be deleted or phased out and the year, if possible, the year that they were added to curriculums?
Yes. Yes. We can get to all of that. And, you know, I without looking at it specifically, I can't say that there are any trends in that. It certainly feels like over the years of somewhere between 2017 and 2020, there was a huge increase in the state in a lot of our credential types. And we're seeing a lot of those that just aren't meeting viability standards. Maybe what they expected to happen wasn't happen, but the world changed a lot in that time frame. So yes, but I'm happy to provide that.
And that's what I'm hoping to see is it a historical thing where businesses have changed, the world has changed? Because I know that the colleges, the universities, this board has been trying to be strategic about new programs that have been added in the last several years. And so I just wanted to kind of check on our progress on that versus some of the older programs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Happy to do that.
If I may comment on that, if you look at the inactivations and deletion of programs, but you've also seen in the last couple of years more productivity. So in my opinion, what we see there is academic efficiencies. Some of the deletions and activations are a result of Mason and his team's good work, kind of cleaning up the books. So these programs have kind of been laying out there, or maybe we haven't really been holding, people's feet to the fire on the validity of programs, the number of graduates. So we're trying to do a little bit of work and being true to form there. But I think we're also seeing just the necessity of academic efficiency. We've got to make the most of our programs and funnel our students to where there are the transferable skills and maybe not have quite so many nuanced degrees that produce less graduates because those are very expensive. So I think, in my opinion, the reduction in programs with the growth in students and productivity is a function of academic efficiency. So that I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And also kind of cleaning up the books a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I meant to point out that while the number of bachelor's degree trends is trending down, Sonia just reported the number of bachelor's graduates, which I'm sure you all noticed. Yeah.
Any more comments? Very interesting report. Mason, thank you very much. Stay with us because you've got agenda item number 21, concurrent enrollment.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Carr. Take a look at some concurrent enrollment trends for AY 25 and then over the past 5 years. This report also provides some summary information for our concurrent end-of-year report that we collect from all of our institutions. So leading with a few charts to provide some big picture enrollment trends for context. Overall enrollment in high school students has been steadily on the rise. No surprise there. Similarly, overall college enrollment has seen modest increases since AY 22, and these college enrollment numbers are inclusive of concurrent students. And the state has continued to see significant increases in overall concurrent enrollment headcount for quite some time now. And then taking a look at college enrollment and concurrent enrollment percentages across private 2-year private, two-year public, and four-year public sectors. We all know four-year institutions enroll almost twice as many college students as our two-year colleges. But if you look only at concurrent enrollment across the private two-year and four-year sectors, two-year institutions continue to be the primary producers of concurrent enrollment credit, enrolling approximately 68% of all concurrent students, which is up from 66% last year. So a slight increase. This graph shows 5-year concurrent enrollment trends broken down by sector. Four-year institutions have experienced a little over a 9% increase over the last 5 years, while two-year institutions have experienced a significant 56% increase. And this is a look at the grade level in which students take courses. For just AY25 last year, 84% of students take concurrent courses in either their 11th or 12th grade years, 12th grades, but we would expect that. And then looking at high school grade levels across the last 5 years, 12th grade continues to experience the largest enrollment. It's seen a slight spike last year of 21%. 11th grade has increased 52%. And while much smaller numbers, 10th grade has seen the largest rate increase, over 95% over the last 5 years. This table shows a breakdown of race and ethnicity numbers and percentages. And while all populations had growth in head count for concurrent, the Hispanic population has seen the most consistent rate increase over the last 5 years. And this graph shows course delivery methods for the last 5 years. We continue to see growth in online courses. For the last 2 years, we've seen an increase in online courses and concurrent. We also took a look at the number of courses taken by students. So 63% of students enrolled in 3 or fewer concurrent courses, with most students taking either 1 or 2 courses. 17% of students completed 15 or more credit hours in a single year in high school, which is the equivalent of an entire semester of college at full-time status. So it's very impressive for those high school students. Taking a look at the courses and programs being pursued, the largest number of general education enrollments are in English, math, and history, which we would expect. And then this table shows the CTE courses and programs being pursued, and the largest number of enrollments are in health sciences, mechanics, precision trades, and engineering. This slide lost a lot of information. So it's supposed to be a trend over the last 5 years for all course types, Gen Ed, CTE, and AP blended. A pass is defined, not that you can tell, but a pass is defined by A, B, C, or satisfactory. And overall, these are steady rates with only slight variations each year. This table provides a look at grade distributions across general education, CTE, AP, and concurrent blended courses. Again, slight variations, but all types of concurrent courses have strong and fairly consistent pass rates. And then this is the second year we have created some maps. These maps are created from ADE data based on the location of the high school to show roughly what percentage of students attending a public high school are enrolling in concurrent coursework. The green map shows the percentage of high school students in grades 9 through 12 who took concurrent coursework in AY25. Arkansas County continues to lead the pack, and that's the same as last year. And then this blue map shows the percentage of graduates, 2025 high school graduates who took concurrent credit during their senior year. Much more participation across the state. When we look at just 12th grade, unfortunately, there are still some counties with low concurrent participation, even for high school seniors. And then the next 3 graphs show total course enrollments and student headcounts for each public institution. They're sorted by lowest to highest for total course enrollments. And so we'll make sure everybody knows as the scale changes So be careful when comparing them. 2- and 4-year institutions are all listed together in this. So there are 3 of these. And then finally, these last 2 tables show some outcomes data. This table shows the college-going rate and fall-to-fall retention rates for college-going high school graduates who took concurrent credit and college-going high school graduates who did not take concurrent credit. So you see overall college-going rates for AY 23, because we have to go back a little bit, was 42%, and 52% of those students took concurrent coursework, while 47% did not, which is a modest 4.5-point improvement for concurrent students. And for that same 23 cohort, fall-to-fall retention rates for students who took concurrent credit was up 15 points higher than students who did not take concurrent credit. And you see similar trends for other graduation years that are shown here. And this takes a look at credential completion for 3 different cohort years, allowing for 150% time to degree. We see that in the 2018 cohort, we see a higher percentage of students that took concurrent credit complete a credential at 33%, which is roughly 13-point difference from students who did not take concurrent credit at 20%. And we see similar trends looking specifically at bachelor degree completion rates for students who took concurrent courses. That concludes my report. And then just a quick note that the board book includes a number of appendices on concurrent accreditation and the memorandums of understanding that they're required to submit. Any questions?
Current enrollment remains of great interest to students, and so it's a growing group. Any questions on that?
What are we doing to increase concurrent credit offerings in Pulaski County? I noticed on 21-1, where it's just less than 10%. But what are we doing there to help move the needle?
Should I take this one, Mason?
Sure, yeah. It's a great question.
So through the LEARNS Act and the Access Act, those 2 omnibus bills in the 23 and the 25 session are really both aligned to accelerate learning, whether it's in the traditional technical fields or more academic fields. And Pulaski County, where the capital is one of the lowest concurrent credit participation rates. We actually have hired someone just this year, Dr. Leslie McClellan. Dr. McClellan, would you stand, please? Dr. McClellan has been with us since the summer, and she is focusing on finding efficiencies and building out concurrent credit pathways. And her work at this time really is focusing on Pulaski County to look for models, because we think there's some low-hanging fruit there. We've got children there, and if we can fix the capital city in Pulaski County and find some good pilot projects there, there's some things that we can build on to go statewide with. So I want to appreciate Dr. McClellan, the work she's doing. She's just a few months in the job, but we are really, to your point, we are focusing on Pulaski County, as we know that we should be participating at higher rates than what we're doing now.
Good, thank you.
It's for Mr. Campbell. Action item number 22, academic program policy update.
Yes, sir. We are bringing before you today an update to our policy on program change and approvals. And it seems that it's been, well over 25 years since this policy saw any substantive updates or improvements. And I think it's fair to say our office and the institutions were making the best of some policy language and definitions that were significantly dated. So just a bit about our vetting process to get us to the end product you see before you today. We've been collecting a list of needed updates for a couple of years and slowly began creating a draft of what the new policy could look like. And then in spring of 2025, we worked with a group of CAOs and expert academic affairs officers from our institutions to revise and review the policy together. Candidly, that group provided an incredible amount of insight to our draft, so much so that it took us about 4 months to work through it all. We presented that draft to the CAOs in August. And we had an open discussion at the CAO meeting in September. And after a few other small adjustments, we landed on the draft that we have today. We think we have a policy that is much cleaner and clearer and appropriately modernized to allow for some current trends and innovations in higher education and workforce development, which were much needed. So starting with a name change, which probably matters to almost nobody except to us. But nonetheless, we think we have made the words easier to understand for anyone looking for this policy. And then just a few comments on the notable changes for this update. We're getting better at connecting inactivations and reactivations of programs to the standards that exist in our other policies, such as program review and program viability. So we've built in some new mechanisms so institutions can be more strategic manage that process. We've also added clear thresholds for revising existing programs. For years, we've been working with terms in our policy like majority or primarily as the targets. So it's very imprecise. And again, for new programs, we have those same clear thresholds and we differentiate those thresholds by award type and or degree level. So certificates and degrees have different thresholds. And while the thresholds they're not drastically different than what we've been expecting from institutions for the past 4 years since I've been here and Commissioner Warden, we've been doing this work. But it's now just so much clearer, and it also aligns with HLC standards, which all of our institutions have to already follow and are very familiar with. We also created some new categories to create minors. We decided on one term for options, tracks, emphases, and focus areas. That word is concentrations. So we'll now have some consistency there. We set clear, I'm off one side. There it is. We set clear percentage thresholds for experiential learning. We added a new definition for postmaster's certificates, and we clarified the definition of our doctorate degree types, along with a whole lot of other cleanup. Those are just the big changes. So if this policy update is approved, we will make it fully effective for April of 2026. For curriculum and program design, this is a relatively short timeline. We know many institutions have program changes and program approvals already in the pipeline under this existing policy, and we would not expect any of that work to be redone. So we'll continue to honor the old forms and pieces of the old policy. Again, a lot of our expectations are identical. We've just cleaned it up. So if approved, our new forms and our guidance documents will go live on Monday. And we will find time to schedule training sessions as needed to ease the transition for institutions. And as is true of all of our policy updates, we think these changes will have a positive impact on all of our institutions and our academic programs in Arkansas. I want to thank Tracy Harrell for all of her sleepless nights working on this. She did tons of work on this. And thank you to all the institutions that helped out, who put time into developing this policy. We really appreciate it. So happy to answer any questions.
Eric Carr, just one comment before we move to vote. I want to appreciate Tracy Mason, our entire academic affairs team. No offense to President Company, but CAOs tend to be fairly opinionated folks. And Mason's ability to do these updates to our process and our procedure is a huge. It's an unceremoniously and thankless task, but I want to appreciate them for doing it. I want to appreciate how he's done it in maintaining the confidence of our institutions and of our CAOs and our faculty and our chancellors. So Mason, this is good work, and I appreciate all of you in the room for working with us on this. It's a yeoman's task, and we really try not to do this in a vacuum. So I just want to appreciate them, Dr. Carr.
Thank you.
Oh, no, stop it. Stop it.
Listen, we're proud of our entire ADHE team. Thank you for a great job they do. We need to get a motion to approve the academic policy update. Can I get a motion? So move. Second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Anybody opposed? Thank you. Information item number 23, the annual status report for sexual assault prevention on campus.
Yes, sir. We do this every year. The report is very simple. It's a requirement from all of our institutions to send these documents in. For the 2025 academic year, all institutions have submitted their plans to ADHE, and those reports are on file, and staff can provide copies upon request.
Information item number 24, the report on the unplanned pregnancy prevention program.
Yes, sir. Same situation. The agency has collected reports from all 11 public four-year universities and all 22 two-year colleges. All institutions are in compliance with Act 943. And these will be scanned and posted on our website, and we can, issue copies upon request. So.
Any questions? Mr. Campbell, you did a great job. You can sit
Thank you
down
so
now.
much.
Thank you very much. Great job. We're now opening the floor to any presidents or chancellors who would like to address the board. If you'd come forward, identify yourself and where you're from, we would appreciate it. Any takers?
Dr. Carr, could I appreciate our staff just one more time? If you're with the Arkansas Division of Higher Education, would you please stand?
Let them stand. Yes.
And particularly our AI that we use in the Arkansas Division of Higher Education, that is Abernathy Intelligence. Nicole Abernathy is here. Is our AI tool is much better. So thank you, Board Chair Carr.
Dr. Ward, we appreciate you too. Thank you for your leadership of this great team. No takers, no chancellors or presidents. Okay. Is Dr. Methvin still here? There she is. Thank you for letting us come to your campus today. You guys were great hosts. We appreciate it very, very much. Okay, the next meeting will be on January the 23rd at Euler. And we'll see you then. Do I get a motion to adjourn? So moved. Is there a second? All in favor? Nobody's going to oppose it. Okay, thank you very much. See ya. Thank you.